He was a billionaire tech genius with top-secret government data locked in his car, until a dusty, quiet voice from the shadows whispered, "There's something blinking under your wheel." What seemed like a child's warning turned into a race against an invisible threat, an ambush in the dark and a truth that no one could have predicted. If you're new to the channel, make sure to subscribe, like this video, and tell us where in the world you're watching from in the comments. Make sure to watch this video till the end because in the final moments, you'll see the journey from an entirely new perspective. Now let's jump into the story. The elevator door slid open with a soft ding, and Jasper Reed stepped into the cold, quiet underground garage. His polished brown shoes echoed against the concrete floor, the only sound in the dim space beneath the glass and steel tower of his tech company. It was just after 7 p.m., later than usual. The day had been long. Jasper had just wrapped up a high-stakes government meeting worth millions in encrypted defense software. By all means, it was a victory. But he didn't feel victorious. Not tonight. Something about the silence pressed into him. Too still. Too empty. His car, a sleek matte blue Orion Vanta, waited at the far end of the parking bay. As he approached, Jasper noticed something odd near the front tire. A small figure crouched low, barely visible in the shadows. He stopped. A boy. No older than 10, with a narrow frame and clothes that looked worn and a bit too small. His yellow shirt was faded and had a tear near the collar. His knees were dusty, his sneakers mismatched. But what caught Jasper's attention most was the boy's face. Calm, focused, eyes locked on something underneath the car. "Hey," Jasper called out, trying to sound more surprised than scared. "What are you doing near my car?" The boy didn't flinch. Slowly he turned his head, his expression unreadable. "Don't start it," the boy said in a low voice. Jasper blinked, unsure if he heard right. "What?" "There's something blinking under your car," the boy said, eyes narrowing slightly. "Right near the brake line." Jasper felt a chill run up his spine. He took a cautious step forward and crouched beside the boy, angling his head to look where the kid was pointing. That's when he saw it. A small black device no bigger than a matchbox wedged behind the front wheel. A tiny red light blinked every few seconds. Steady, quiet, almost invisible. Jasper's breath caught. He'd seen something like this before. Not in regular life, but during briefings. It was a tracker, military grade, likely untraceable, designed to monitor movements without being noticed. He stood up fast, heart pounding hard against his chest. "Who are you?" he asked. The boy got to his feet slowly. "Tariq," he said simply. "I sleep down here sometimes." Jasper glanced around the garage, then back at the boy. "You saw someone put that thing under my car?" Tariq nodded. Black SUV, tinted windows. 3 guys. They came in quick, slid under the car, left fast. I watched. Jasper was stunned. "Why didn't you tell building security?" Tariq shrugged. "They don't see me. I'm just some kid sleeping by the boilers." Jasper took a shaky breath, his mind racing. Was this a random bugging? A corporate threat? Something personal? Then came the sound that froze him in place. The slow, deliberate footsteps of several people approaching. He turned his head. At the far end of the garage, 3 men stepped out from behind a row of pillars. Dressed in black, heavy boots, hands empty except for one, the man in the middle tapped a short wooden bat against his gloved palm. No masks, no words, just steady steps forward. Jasper moved in front of Tariq. "Stay behind me," he whispered. But Tariq didn't move. "They're not here for me," the boy said quietly. "They want the car, and whatever's inside." Jasper's stomach twisted. The briefcase. It was still in the back seat. Inside were encrypted hard drives, files not yet uploaded to any secure cloud. Sensitive data about defense structures. If those drives were stolen, it wouldn't just be a personal loss, it would be national. He looked at the men. They were spreading out slowly, calm, confident, as if they'd done this before. He reached for his phone. "Don't," Tariq said, softly. "They'll be on you before you can unlock it." Jasper paused. "Then what do I do?" Tariq looked at him, his voice low but firm. "Don't run. That's what they want. If you panic, they win. Stand your ground. Keep yourself between them and the car." Before Jasper could ask anything else, the boy was gone, moving backward like a shadow, slipping behind concrete support beams. Jasper faced the men alone. The one in front spoke with a smirk. "Didn't mean to scare you, man. We just got turned around down here. Weird layout, huh?" Jasper didn't answer. Another one stepped to the side, trying to flank him. "Nice ride. That yours?" Still no response. Jasper's fists clenched. His eyes flicked toward the car, toward where the tracker still blinked. He had no idea what Tariq was planning, but he hoped it was something good. Then, suddenly, the lights above the garage flickered. All bulbs went out. Except one. The single spotlight directly above Jasper's car stayed lit, casting a glow over the Vanta and the ground around it. In the distance, something chirped, a quiet, mechanical tone from the wall. Then the garage alarm began to blare. Jasper didn't wait. He dove toward the wheel, yanked the device free with a sharp twist, and threw it as far as he could into the dark. The men shouted. From the far end, he saw movement. Tariq, standing near the emergency call button, hand pressed to the panel. Sirens echoed. The men ran. Jasper slumped to the ground, chest heaving, trying to believe what had just happened, and somewhere in the dark, Tariq stepped forward, quiet as ever. "You good?" he asked. Jasper looked up at him with awe. "You just saved my life." Tariq shook his head. "No," he said. "I saved your car. You saved the rest." Jasper stood still, every nerve on edge, his eyes locked on the three men slowly moving closer. The soft click of a wooden bat against a gloved hand echoed through the garage like a countdown. The only light above him buzzed faintly, casting his figure and the blue car beneath it in a pale circle of visibility. Everything else was swallowed by shadow. He could hear his heartbeat now, loud and fast in his ears. The boy, Tariq, had disappeared into the dark. One moment he was beside Jasper, the next he had slipped behind the concrete pillars without a sound, like he belonged to the building itself. Jasper hoped, no, prayed, that the kid had a plan. "Look, man," said the guy with the bat, his voice smooth like someone selling lies for a living. "We're not here to start trouble, just wrong floor maybe. Elevator dropped us off in the basement." Jasper didn't speak. He didn't move. The second man circled a few feet to the right, clearly trying to get a better angle. He had a nervous energy about him, chewing on something in his mouth and cracking his knuckles over and over. "Nice wheels," the third one muttered. He was broad-shouldered and completely silent otherwise, like he didn't need words. His eyes were fixed on the car. No, not the car. The back seat. The briefcase. Jasper stayed between them and the Vanta, feet planted, jaw tight. Everything in him wanted to run. But he remembered Tariq's words. "Don't run. That's what they want. Fear gives them control." He wasn't sure why he trusted a 10-year-old kid from the shadows more than his own instincts, but something about the boy's eyes made him listen. "Guy's not talking," the second man said. "Maybe he's got something worth hiding." The bat tapped. The floor again. Closer this time. Jasper's hand moved toward his coat pocket where his phone was tucked, but he stopped. If Tariq was right, they'd be on him before he could even wake the screen. He scanned the garage. Empty. Silent. No guards. No other cars. No escape. Then, something strange happened. The lights flickered. Once. Twice. Then darkness. Everything went black. Every overhead bulb. Every wall light. Gone. The garage was swallowed in thick, pitch silence. Except one light remained. The one above Jasper's car stayed on, buzzing quietly, casting an eerie white circle around him. The shadows grew longer around its edges. The attackers paused, Then came the sound, a soft, sharp beep from the wall to Jasper's left. Something was being accessed. A second later, an even louder sound pierced the garage. The emergency alarm. It started low, a siren meant to signal fire or break-in, but quickly grew into a screaming wail that bounced off the concrete walls. The men froze. Jasper seized the moment. He turned and dove to the ground by the front wheel. His fingers reached for the tracker device Tariq had warned him about. It was still blinking. He gripped it hard and twisted. The device popped loose with resistance. Jasper didn't think. He threw it across the floor with all his strength. The tracker hit the ground with a skid and disappeared into the darkness. "Get him!" one of the men yelled. But they were too late. The garage's main door lit up red, and from the far wall, Jasper spotted Tariq. Small, fast, determined, slamming, his hand against a metal emergency panel. The siren's volume increased. A flashing red light began pulsing across the garage, signaling intrusion. All three men turned to run. The silence of before was gone. Now the place was chaos. Alarms, lights, footsteps echoing as the would-be attackers vanished into the exit corridor. Jasper stumbled back, breathing hard, the adrenaline still pumping. His back hit the side of his car. He slumped to the ground, head tilted back, eyes closing for a moment. Footsteps approached. Lighter this time. Familiar. "You okay?" Tariq's voice asked quietly. Jasper opened his eyes and looked up at the boy. He was standing calmly again, as if he hadn't just helped prevent something unthinkable. "You just saved my life," Jasper said. Tariq shook his head. "I saved your car," he replied. "You saved the rest." Jasper couldn't help, but let out a short laugh, half relief, half disbelief. He looked at the boy, really looked at him for the first time. Worn clothes, tired eyes, but a sharpness, like someone who saw more than anyone gave him credit for. "Why were you even down here?" Jasper asked. Tariq shrugged. "It's quiet. I sleep in the boiler hallway sometimes. No one checks there, cameras don't see." Jasper nodded slowly. "You saw everything, didn't you?" "I see more than most people think I do," Tariq said, glancing toward the exit. The next morning, the city buzzed with its usual rhythm, but inside a black armored SUV parked outside Jasper's headquarters, everything felt different. Jasper sat quietly in the back seat, holding the broken tracker in his gloved hand. The tiny red light blinked faintly, almost like a heartbeat fading away. It had been less than 12 hours since the attempted ambush, but it already felt like days had passed. Across from him sat Tariq, now in clean clothes, an oversized navy hoodie and fresh sneakers. He clutched a protein bar in one hand and looked out the window, eyes scanning every car, every person, like someone who'd learned to stay alert in a world that rarely noticed him. Jasper studied him for a moment. There was a stillness about the boy, but it wasn't fear. It was something else. Control. Focus. Like a soldier who had seen too much too young. Last night kept replaying in Jasper's head. The flickering lights, the blinking device, the men in black. And the moment he realized, Tariq wasn't just some kid who happened to be there. He had noticed what no one else would have, and he acted. Fast. Jasper finally broke the silence. "You really saw their faces?" Tariq nodded without turning his head. "Two of them. The third kept his face down. But the one with the bat?" He took off his mask for a second, spit on the floor. Jasper looked down at the tracker again. "They weren't just trying to follow me," he said quietly. "They were trying to take something." "From the car?" Tariq asked. Jasper nodded. "From the briefcase in the back seat. It had defense encryption prototypes, not even uploaded yet. They wanted the data." Tariq turned to him now. "So they were after the tech? Government stuff?" "Yes, and they knew where I'd be, when I'd leave, what car I drove." Jasper frowned. "That means someone told them, someone close." Tariq didn't ask questions. He just listened. By the time they arrived at Jasper's private security office, his head of cyber operations, Rhea Linton, was already reviewing the garage footage from the night before. Her short brown hair was pulled into a tight bun, and her fingers moved quickly across the keyboard, pausing and rewinding the grainy video feed over and over. Jasper stood behind her, eyes fixed on the screen. Tariq stood to the side, arms crossed, taking everything in. "There," Rhea said finally, pointing to the screen. "That's the SUV. Came in at 6:49 p.m., tinted windows, license plate removed. 3 males exited the vehicle. One went under your car." She paused the video. The image wasn't crystal clear, but it was enough. One of the men pulled down his mask to spit on the concrete near a wall. "Zoom in," Jasper said. Rhea did. A face filled the screen, faint but visible. Tired eyes. A scar across the cheek. Tariq stepped closer. "That's him," he said without hesitation. "He's the one with the bat." Rhea stiffened. "Wait a second." She typed quickly, cross-referencing employee records. Then her eyes widened. "Name's Blaine Mercer. Used to work on our shipping team. Let go 3 months ago after AE. Data leak scare." "Did his access get removed?" Jasper asked. Rhea's voice dropped. "Only partially. His badge stopped working, but we never deactivated his digital credentials." Jasper swore under his breath. "So he could still monitor internal schedules?" Rhea nodded. "He'd know your meeting times, your parking location, even what's in the briefcase. He moved equipment for us for years." Tariq looked from the screen to Jasper. "So he was inside before, he knew everything." Jasper's jaw tightened. "We're dealing with an inside leak, and someone paid him to do this." "What do you want to do?" Rhea asked. Jasper didn't hesitate. "Call the federal agency. They need to know there was an attempt to breach our encryption chain. Give them the footage, Blaine's name, and the device." "And the boy?" Rhea asked softly. Jasper turned. Tariq stood near the office couch, his hands in his hoodie pocket, shoulders slightly hunched as if trying to stay invisible again. But his eyes were still sharp, watching everything. "We owe him more than thanks," Jasper said. "I want him safe, I want him protected, and I want to hear everything he remembers." Rhea nodded. "We can record his statement now." But Jasper wasn't finished. He knelt beside Tariq, looked him straight in the eye. "I know life's probably never been fair to you, and I know you didn't do this for a reward, but I don't want to just walk away from this like it was a lucky break." Tariq's voice was quiet. "I've been on my own since last winter, after my mom passed." Jasper felt something sink in his chest. He looked around the polished glass room, the high-tech screens, the security guards outside. None of it meant anything compared to what this boy had been through. "You've been living under our building all this time?" Jasper asked. Tariq nodded. "Behind the boiler rooms. There's a spot the cameras don't reach." Jasper didn't speak right away, then he said, "You saved something worth millions. But you also saved something I didn't know I was about to lose. My peace. My sense of safety." Tariq didn't answer. He just looked down. "We're going back to that garage today," Jasper said, standing. "You'll show me where you hid, and then we're making a plan." That afternoon, the two of them returned to the parking garage. Not alone. This time, Jasper walked beside Tariq, surrounded by his private security team. Each step echoed off the concrete as they moved through the same shadows that had nearly swallowed him the night before. Tariq pointed silently to a narrow hallway near the boiler system. There, behind a set of rusty pipes and old storage crates, was a small space just big enough for a boy to curl up and disappear from sight. "This is where you slept?" Jasper asked, his voice quiet. Tariq nodded. "No cameras here. Warm in the winter. Nobody ever checks." Jasper looked around at the cracked walls and the layers of dust. His chest tightened. He thought about how many nights this kid had spent, alone down here, hidden in silence while the world above went on, unaware. "No one should have to live like this," Jasper said. Tariq shrugged. "It's not so bad when you get used to it." But Jasper didn't respond to that. He didn't agree. He didn't pretend it was okay. 2 weeks later, the headlines were everywhere. "Homeless boy foils, corporate espionage plot. Child's quick thinking saves millions in defense tech. CEO credits streetwise kid for national security breakthrough. But the headlines never told the whole story. Behind the scenes, Jasper wasn't doing press tours or interviews. He wasn't basking in the spotlight. He was making a change. It started with a phone call, then a meeting, then something more. Tariq moved out of the shadows and into a quiet guest room in Jasper's house. It wasn't fancy, just a clean bed, a bookshelf, and a window that let in the morning light. But for Tariq, it was a whole new world. No cold concrete floors, no humming pipes, no need to hide anymore. Jasper made sure Tariq had meals every day, clothes that fit, and a tutor to help him get back into school. At first, Tariq was quiet, cautious. He didn't trust it. He kept his bag packed just in case. But after a while, the walls around him started to drop. They talked in the evenings, about the world, about tech, about how things worked. Tariq was curious, quick. He asked questions no one else thought to ask. And Jasper saw it clearly now. This boy didn't just have sharp eyes. He had a sharp mind. One night, as they sat together in the study, Jasper asked, "If you could do anything, anything at all, what would it be?" Tariq didn't hesitate. "I'd build something, a way to see things others miss, like systems, networks, how they connect." Jasper smiled. "You just described cybersecurity." Tariq grinned for the first time in a long while. From that moment, things moved faster. Jasper brought Tariq to the office, not as a guest, but as a quiet observer. He let him sit in with the tech team, ask questions, watch how things were done. Rhea, Jasper's head of operations, pulled him aside after the first week. "That kid sees patterns faster than half our interns," she said. "I think he belongs here." And so, Jasper made it official. Tariq became a junior trainee under Rhea's guidance, working on small assignments, watching for digital irregularities, learning about firewalls, trackers, and silent threats. He took to it naturally, but Jasper never forgot where it started. One weekend, they returned to the garage, just the two of them. The lime blue Orion Vanta still sat in its space, polished and perfect. But to Jasper, it no longer symbolized success. It reminded him how close he'd come to losing something far more valuable than contracts or data. He looked at Tariq and said, "That night, when you said not to run, it changed more than just the moment." Tariq glanced at him, curious. "What do you mean?" "You helped me remember that real strength isn't about power or status. It's about choosing to face something scary and standing your ground. You did that. And because you did, I could too." Tariq didn't say anything for a while. Then quietly, he replied, "I wasn't sure it would work. But I couldn't let them win." Jasper nodded. "You didn't let them win. You changed the game." In the months that followed, things continued to change for both of them. Tariq was enrolled in a private school with a full scholarship arranged by Jasper. He studied hard, made friends, even started working on his own software ideas. Jasper, once known for keeping his personal life private, now spent evenings not in meetings, but listening to Tariq talk about school, inventions, and the occasional comic book theory. The final scene of their journey wasn't flashy. No cameras, no speeches, just two people sitting side by side, one who had built everything from the ground up, and one who had once slept under those very floors. And when Jasper looked at the boy next to him, he didn't see a rescued kid. He saw the person who had rescued him.